Hello friends, welcome to our RV YouTube channel. In today's session 14 of electric drives and control, we are going to discuss about three-phase fully controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor drive under forward motoring condition. So for this, first let us learn how to draw the three-phase input voltage. Okay, so usually there are two approaches to learn this three-phase rectifiers. One is phasor voltage approach and another one is line voltage approach. Okay, one is phase voltage approach, and the second one is the line voltage approach. So we are going to use this line voltage approach. We are going to use the second one called the line voltage approach. Okay, so let us discuss how we have to draw the three-phase line voltage. Then afterwards we will move into the three-phase fully controlled converter fed separately excited DC motor drive. So first let us draw the vectors of three-phase line voltage. So let us take this as VAB and this as VBC, which is phase difference from VAB with 120 degrees, and let us have VCA again, which is 120 degrees, phase displaced from VBC, 120 degree phase displaced from VBC, which is VCA. Okay, so this is our three-phase line voltage. So let us draw this three-phase line voltage here. So for that, as can you see in this diagram, first you have to draw from 30 degrees to 570 degrees with the interval of 30 degrees, okay, which is shown in this diagram. You have to start from 30 degrees and you have to draw, you have to mark up to 570 degrees with the interval of 30 degrees. So now let us start drawing our the three-phase line voltage. So first let us draw this VAB. So VAB starts at 0 degrees, right? For this VAB, our peak will be at 90 degrees, right? The positive peak will be at 90 degrees and the negative peak will be at 270 degrees. And the first half cycle will be completing at 180 degrees and the second half cycle will be completing at 360 degrees, right? So this is our VAB. So let us try to draw the next cycle also. So the next peak of the positive half cycle of this VAB will occur at 360 plus 90, how much? 450, right? 360 plus 90, 450. So the positive half cycle will end at 540, right? 450 plus 90, 540. So this is our VAB. So totally I have drawn for 1.5 cycles, okay, of VAB. So from VAB, our VBC is at 120 degrees phase displacement, right? So let us draw our VBC. So here it is our 120 degrees. So our VBC is phase displaced by 120 degrees from our VAB. So it starts at 120 degrees. So its peak voltage in positive half cycle lies at 120 plus 90, how much? 210. And 210 plus 90, 300. So its positive half cycle ends at 300. And negative peak voltage will occur at 300 plus 90, 390. And it ends at 390 plus 90, 480. So let us draw this. So this is our VBC line voltage. VBC line voltage. So now let us draw the third line voltage called VCA, which is 120 degrees phase displaced from VBC. that means it starts at 240 degrees, right? So 240 degrees, right? Because which is displaced from which is displaced by 120 degrees from our VBC. So 120 plus 120 becomes 240. So our VCA starts at 240. Okay, VCA starts at 240. So where will be our positive peak for 240? 240 plus 90, 330, right? 240 plus 90, 330. And it ends at 330 plus 90, 420. So positive half cycle ends at 420. And again the negative peak will be 420 plus 90, 510, right? So this is our VCA, and it goes like this. Okay, so we have drawn this three phase line voltages, and now and let us draw the reversal of this line voltages also. Okay, reversal of this line voltages also. So the reversal of VAB will be minus VAB, or it can also be known as VBA, right? The reversal of the line voltage VAB is minus VAB, or it can also be known as VBA. So let us draw this. So VBA will be nothing but the exact negative of the VAB. So the peak is here, and its peak is one more peak is here, 270, right? So exact negative of VAB is nothing but VBA. So this is our VBA, VBA, and here also VBA. Okay, so this is our negative line voltage of VAB. Similarly, let us try to draw the negative line voltage of VBC also. So this is our negative line voltage of VBC. Okay, so this is also known as VCB, right? Negative line voltage of VBC is nothing but minus VBC, which is also known as VCB. So exact negative of this VBC is nothing but VCB. So exact negative is nothing but VCB, and again here also VCB. Okay, so now let us try to extend this VCB to the left hand side also. So where its peak will be occurring? 30, 30, 30. So becomes how many degrees? 90 degrees, right? See, just I am trying to draw this VCB to the left hand side also. I am going to extend that. So I wanted to find out the peak value. Peak value always occurs at 90 degrees, right? So from here to here 30 degrees. From here to here 30. So 30 plus 30 becomes 60, and here one more 30. So total 90 degrees. So its peak occurs at here. Okay. So this is our VBC, and this is our VCB. See, you can see here VCB is traveling like this, and again VBC is traveling in positive direction like this. Okay, now let us try to draw the negative of VCA. Negative of VCA. Negative of VCA is nothing but will come here. So negative of VCA minus VCA is nothing but VAC, right? Negative of VCA is nothing but VAC. So this is exact opposite of VCA. So whose peak occurs at here, right? So this will be like this. Again here at 510 another peak, right? So it goes like this. So this is nothing but VAC. Okay, and let us try to extend this to the left hand side also, our VAC and VCA, right? Now I am going to extend this VCA and VAC to the left hand side also. So let us try to find out first the peak value. So from here to here 30 degrees, and here to here 30, and here to here 30. So total 90. So at 150 degrees its peak will occur, okay, on both the sides. And again from here it ends at here 130, and here 130, and here 130. So it ends at here, right? So 30, 30, 30 becomes 90, okay. So it will be something like this, which is nothing but VAC, and again here it is VCA. Just I am trying to extend my VCA and VAC line voltages to the left hand side also, okay. So again here let's still extend our VAC and VCA to the left hand side, which I am marking in the blue color. So from here to here 30 degrees, and from here to here 30 degrees became 60 degrees, and from here to here again 30 degrees. So totally became how many degrees? 90 degrees, okay. So like this, like this. So this is our VAC curve, and this is our VCA line voltage, okay. So this is how we can draw our three-phase input line voltage, okay. So here it is nothing but Vs, nothing but the three-phase input line voltage, and here our omega t in x-axis. So this is how we can draw our three-phase input line voltage. So first let us discuss about the circuit diagram. So this is our circuit diagram, where here this is three-phase AC line voltage, okay, ABC, and this is here, this is our three-phase AC supply, which is given to the three-phase fully controlled rectifier, whose thyristors are numbered as T1, T3, T5 and T4, T6, T2. So this is our three-phase fully controlled rectifier. So this three-phase fully controlled rectifier converts this three-phase AC supply into DC supply, and whose value of voltage is VA, okay. And this this DC power is given to the DC motor, this VA and IA, across the armature terminals of the motor, and this motor has the back EMF of E, and here RA represents the armature resistance and LA represents the armature inductance. Here A and AA is armature terminals of the DC motor, and the output voltage across armature terminals is VA, okay. Output voltage across armature terminals is VA. Now let us move on to the operation of this particular circuit diagram, which is connected with a DC motor. And here, for our convenience, I have splitted this circuit into 6 modes of operation, and I have drawn the 6 equivalent circuits: circuit 1, circuit 2, circuit 3, circuit 4, circuit 5 and circuit 6 for our convenience of operation, to know the operation in a convenient way. So now let us move on to the waveform. So this is our three-phase AC input voltage waveform, which we have drawn right now, and we have learnt how to draw also. So first let us come on to the voltage VAB. Okay, the first line voltage is of our VAB, which starts at 0 degrees. This VAB becomes more positive at 60 degrees. See, can you look at here at 60 degrees? At 60 degrees, the line voltage becomes more positive from here to here. So at 60 degrees, the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VAB comes into the conduction. So which are the thyristors comes into the conduction with respect to the line voltage VAB? See here, look at the circuit diagram 1. Here in circuit diagram 1, it is of line voltage VAB. So for this line voltage VAB, thyristor T1 and T6 are connected. So at an angle of 60 degrees, the thyristors line voltage corresponding to VAB, T1 and T6 comes into the conduction. Now let us have the firing angle for this. Okay, let us consider a firing angle. So the firing angle, I am going to consider a firing angle of alpha is equal to 30 degrees, which is less than 90 degrees. That means the firing angle alpha ranges between 0 degrees to 90 degrees. Okay, 0 degrees to 90 degrees. I am going to consider firing angle alpha as 30 degrees. So 30 degrees means our VAB, as we already explained, our VAB becomes most positive at 60 degrees. So from 60 degrees, we have to leave 30 degrees of firing angle because our firing angle is 30 degrees. So 30 plus 60 becomes 90 degrees. So at 90 degrees, our thyristors T1 and T6 comes into the conduction. Okay. See, again I am explaining you, our line voltage VAB becomes more positive at 60 degrees, right here. So, and our firing angle is 30 degrees. So 60 plus 30, how much? 90 degrees. So at 90 degrees, our thyristors corresponding to line voltage VAB is nothing but T1 and T6 from our equivalent circuit 1. See here, equivalent, look at the equivalent circuit 1. At the equivalent circuit 1, we have T1 and T6 corresponding to the line voltage VAB. Therefore, the thyristors T1 and T6 comes into the conduction at an angle of 90 degrees. Now, similarly, let us mark for the other voltages also. The next line voltage is VAC. Okay. So, our VAC becomes more positive at 120 degrees. See here, I am marking it. So, sorry for the interruption. These lines are more thicker. Let me make it a little bit thin. So this VAC becomes more positive at 120 degrees here, which I am marking here at 120 degrees. Okay. So at 120 degrees, it is becoming more positive. From 122, we have to leave how many degrees? 30 degrees. Okay, our firing angle is 30 degrees. So 120 plus 30 becomes 150 degrees. So at 150 degrees, thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VAC comes into the conduction. Now look into the equivalent circuit 2. So at equivalent circuit 2, if you look at these thyristors, those thyristors are T1 and T2. Therefore, the thyristors corresponding to VAC are T1 and T2, which comes into the conduction at an angle of 150 degrees. Okay. Now similarly for VBC. So for VBC becomes more positive at 180 degrees. Okay. VBC becomes more positive at 180 degrees. Okay. Can you see here? I am marking it. VBC becomes more positive at 180 degrees. So we have to leave 30 degrees from here, which is of our firing angle. So 180 plus 30 is nothing but 210. So at an angle of 210, the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VBC. So look at the equivalent circuit 3 here. Look at the equivalent circuit 3, please. So at an equivalent circuit of 3, the thyristors corresponding to line voltage VBC is T3 and T2. So at an angle of 210, the thyristors T3 and T2 corresponding to the line voltage VBC comes into the conduction. Now let us mark for the line voltage VBA. The next line voltage is VBA, which you can see here, right? So VBA becomes more positive at 240 degrees, which I am marking here. See, at 240 degrees, our line voltage becomes more positive. Okay. So from here we have to leave 30 degrees, which is of our firing angle. So 240 plus 30 becomes 270. Okay. So at an angle of 270, the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VBA comes into the conduction. So now look into the circuit 4 here. Please look into the circuit 4. In circuit 4, the thyristors are T3 and T4. Okay. So the thyristors T3 and T4 comes into the conduction at an angle of 270 corresponding to the line voltage VBA. So next let us mark for VCA also, the line voltage VCA. Okay. So the VCA becomes more positive at 300 degrees. See, I am marking here at 300 degree, the line voltage VCA becomes more positive, from where we have to leave 30 degrees. So it becomes 330 degrees. So at an angle of 330 degrees, the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VCA comes into the conduction. So now let us look into the circuit diagram 5. Circuit diagram 5. In circuit diagram 5, thyristor T5 and T4 comes into the conduction. Therefore, thyristor T5 and T4 comes into the conduction at an angle of 330 degree corresponding to the line voltage VCA. Now let us try to mark the thyristors of VCB. Okay, VCB. So VCB becomes more positive at an angle of 360 degrees. See, I am marking here at 360 degree. Our VCB becomes more positive. From where we have to leave 30 degrees of firing angle. So 360 plus 30 becomes 390 degree. So at an angle of 390 degree, the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VCB comes into the conduction. So please look into the circuit diagram 6. So here, if we look at the circuit, the thyristors T5 and T6. Okay. Therefore, the thyristors T5 and T6, which are connected to the line voltage VCB, comes into the conduction at an angle of 390 degrees. So again, the line voltage VAB. After VCB, the line voltage VAB comes into the conduction. That means the new cycle is getting started. Okay. So this VAB becomes more positive at an angle of 420. So I am marking it here. So at 420 degrees, the VAB becomes more positive, and 420 plus 30 is nothing but 450, right? So at an angle of 450, the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VAB comes into the conduction. So the thyristors corresponding to the line voltage VAB is nothing but what? T1, T6. Okay, T1, T6. If you look at the circuit diagram 1, see the thyristor T1 and T6. Okay, at circuit diagram 1, the thyristors T1 and T6 are connected to across the line voltage VAB. So thyristor T1 and T6. Okay, this is a new cycle again. So now let us make the output voltages. Okay, for this. Now let us mark the output voltage. Now we have marked the instants or angles at which the thyristors comes into the conduction. Now let us mark the output voltage and the output current. So for which, now let us come into the first circuit diagram. So that means first circuit diagram is nothing but the line voltage VAB. Okay, the line voltage VAB. So from 90 degrees to 150 degrees, what happens? Let us see. So the current IA, okay, the current IA starts from the voltage, starts from the terminal A and moves into the thyristor T1 and enters through A and leaves through AA and enters into the thyristor T6 and leaves through the terminal B. Okay, so if we apply KVL to this loop, we will get here this VA is equal to VAB. Okay, that means our armature output voltage or the output voltage across the rectifier is nothing but the line voltage VAB will fall across our armature terminals. Okay, here our VA is nothing but equal to VAB. So let us try to draw that, which from 90 degrees to 150 degrees, right? So from 90 degrees to, see, this is our VA output voltage. Okay, so from 90 degrees to 150 degrees, this is our output voltage. Okay, this is our output voltage from 90 degrees to 150 degrees. So let us draw separately here in this. From 90 degrees to 150 degrees, our line voltage is VAB. See, which we found from where? From our equivalent circuit 1, it is found that VA is equal to VAB. Therefore, our line voltage VAB will be the output voltage across our armature terminals of the motor. Okay, and from 150 degrees to 210 degrees. Okay, from 150 degrees to 210 degrees, what happens is our line voltage VAC will appear across our armature terminal. See here, if you look at this, the current, please look into the circuit 2. Please look into the circuit 2. The current starts at, the armature current starts at A terminal and moves into the thyristor T1 and enters into A and leaves through AA of the motor and enters into the thyristor T2 and ends at the terminal C. So if we apply KVL at this loop, we will get this VA. Okay, if we apply KVL to this loop, we will get what? VA is equal to VAC. Okay, VA is equal to VAC. Therefore, our output voltage from 150 degrees to 210 degrees will be this one. will be this one here. Let me draw it separately. Will be this one. Okay. From 150 degrees to 210 degrees, the output voltage. I mean the replica of this VAC. Okay. Here it is VAC. Now the next line voltage is nothing but VBC. So please look into the the circuit 3. Please look into the circuit 3. So here circuit 3, the current starts from the terminal B. IA starts from terminal B, enters into the thyristor T3 and enters into the terminal A of the motor and leads through AA and enters into the thyristor T2 and ends at C. Okay. So if you apply KVL to this loop, you will get our VA. VA is equal to VBC. Okay. That means from 210 degrees to, right, from 210 degrees to 270 degrees, our armature output voltage is nothing but equal to the line voltage VBC. Okay. So this will be our, so from here to here, this will be our output voltage. Okay. From 210 to 270. From 210 to 270. Whichever is here input voltage, that will be appearing as the output voltage. VBC. I'll show you in the input voltage itself with the black color. Okay. See. From here to here. So I have drawn here as separately. This one VBC. Okay. VBC. Similarly, for our VAC, from here to here. Okay. So that is drawn separately in our VA curve here. Okay. And similarly, let me show in the input voltage itself the output voltage of VAB. From here to here. Okay. From here to this one. So which is drawn here. VAB is drawn here. So now similarly, let us draw for the next line voltage. After VBC, the next line voltage is of VBA. Okay. VBA. So the next line voltage is of VBA, which starts at 270 degrees and ends at 330 degrees. So the corresponding equivalent circuit is of the circuit diagram 4. Okay, please look at the circuit diagram 4. So the armature current starts at the terminal B. Okay, armature current starts at the terminal B and enters into T3 and enters into A and leaves through AA and enters into T4 and ends at the terminal A. So if we apply KVL to this loop, our VA, okay, our VA, that means armature output voltage VA will be equal to VBA. That means our armature output voltage is equal to the input line voltage of VBA. So now let me draw on the black color in the input voltage itself. So VBA, right? So from here, that means from 270 degrees to from 330 degrees, right? From 270 degrees to 330 degrees, the output voltage is nothing but the input line voltage VBA. Now let us draw this separately in our output voltage. Sorry, this should be in the red. Sorry. So this is nothing but VBA. Okay. And the next line voltage after VBA is nothing but VCA here. Okay. After VBA is VCA. So please look into the circuit diagram 5. Okay. Please look at the circuit diagram of 5. In 5, the armature current starts at the terminal C and enters into T5 and enters into A and leaves through AA and enters into T4 and ends at the terminal A. Therefore, if you apply KVL to this loop, the the output voltage VA is equal to VCA. Okay, if you apply KVL to this loop, we will get the armature output voltage as the input line voltage VCA. So from 330 degrees to let me mark in the black color in the input voltage itself. So at 330 degrees to 390 degrees, okay, the output voltage is nothing but the input line voltage VCA. Okay, now let us mark separately in the output curve. So this is VCA. Okay, VCA. And the last one is after VCA we have what? VCB here. After VCA we have VCB. So for this, please look into the circuit 6. Okay, circuit 6. The armature current starts at the terminal C and enters into T5 and enters into A and leaves through AA and enters into T6 and ends at B. Therefore, if you apply KVL to this loop, our armature voltage VA is equal to VCB. Okay. So if you apply KVL to this loop, we will get armature voltage across our armature terminals as the input line voltage VCB. From where to where? From 390 to 450. Okay. So let us mark in the black color in the input voltage itself. So VCB is from 390 degrees to 450 degrees. So at 450 degrees again the new cycle starts with the T1 and T6. Okay. So now let us mark this VCB in our output voltage. Okay. Which is of yellow color. VCB. Okay. So this is how the 3-phase controlled rectifier's output is fed to the DC motor. So now let us mark the output currents also. So from VAB and VAC, VBC current, the current flows through the terminal VBA and VCA and VCB. So the current is here. Nowhere the current is becoming 0. Therefore, this conduction is continuous conduction. Okay, if you look at this current graph or the current waveform, nowhere the current is becoming 0. Therefore, it is continuous conduction mode. Because if you look at this waveform, let me explain. At 90 degrees, I mean from 90 degrees to 150 degrees, what is happening is the current is flowing through the thyristors T1 and T6. Am I right or not? From 150 degrees to 210 degrees, if you look at the current is flowing from the current is flowing through the thyristors T1 and T2. And 210 to 270, the current is flowing through T3 and T2. And at 270 to 330, the current is flowing through T3 and T4. From 330 to 390, the current is flowing through T5 and T4. From 390 to 450, the current is flowing through T5 and T6. So if you observe at this, nowhere the current is becoming 0. So the current is flowing through all the thyristors with a period of 60 degrees without any discontinuity. So this is known as discontinuous conduction mode of operation. This is known as continuous conduction mode of operation. Okay. This is known as continuous conduction mode of operation. So now let us draw the quadrants of planes for this. Okay, based on this output voltage and output current, let us draw the quadrants of operation. So here it is VA and here it is IA. So if you look at this output voltage and output current, both are positive, right? See, VA, output voltage VA is positive here. Please look at the output voltage waveform VA, which is of positive. And here please look at the output current waveform, that is also positive, right? See, please look at the output current waveform, which is also positive. So voltage is positive and current is positive, so which falls in the first quadrant. Okay, first quadrant we already know that, which is of forward motoring. And here we have chosen our firing angle as 30 degrees, that means less than 90 degrees. Therefore, if we choose the firing angle less than 90 degrees, our quadrant of operation is first quadrant of operation, which is nothing but forward motoring. So that is all for this session. In our next session, let us discuss the same rectifier for firing angle more than 90 degrees, that means greater than 90 degrees, where we will see how the regenerative braking is achieved and also the mathematical analysis of this particular DC motor drive. Thank you.